أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الأخلاء يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. يا عباد لا خوف عليكم اليوم ولا أنتم تحزنون الذين آمنوا بآياتنا وكانوا مسلمين. ادخلوا الجنة أنتم وأزواجكم تحبرون يطاف عليهم بصحاف من ذهب وأكواب وفيها ما تشتهيه الأنفس وتلذ الأعين وأنتم فيها خالدون. وتلك الجنة التي أورثتموها بما كنتم تعملون لكم فيها فاكهة كثيرة منها تأكلون. إن المجرمين في عذاب جهنم خالدون لا يفتر عنهم وهم فيه مبلسون. وما ظلمناهم ولكن كانوا هم الظالمين. ونادوا يا مالك ليقض علينا ربك قال إنكم ماكثون. لقد جئناكم بالحق ولكن أكثركم للحق كارهون. أم أبرموا أمرا فإنا مبرمون. أم يحسبون أنا لا نسمع سرهم ونجواهم بلى ورسلنا لديهم يكتبون. صدق الله العظيم. Before I start, inshallah, I'd just like to apologize in case I'm repeating most of the stuff that's already been said. Originally, what I wanted to talk about was friendship and how I feel that someone who wants to memorize the Quran and is on this journey, especially the youth, and you know, whether you are in primary school, secondary school, or you are in college, or you are in university, or even if you're a parent, how this could apply to you and how you could help your child or help yourself in terms of memorizing the Quran. And the main ayah I wanted to focus on was the first ayah, الأخلاء يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. That friends on that day will be enemies to one another except al-muttaqeen, the pious ones. So this is something that I've seen throughout my whole life, something that I feel has helped me a lot in terms of memorizing the Quran, sticking to it after memory and continuously going over it. It's that having righteous friends and friends who are motivated with the same goal that you have and in the same path, they're going in the same path that you're going, it will help you a lot, and you know, it will help you mentally, spiritually, and you know, with your progression and whatnot. Now, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also advises about friendship, and obviously we know about the companions of the Messenger of Allah, that they were, you know, his friends were the ones that helped the mission of Islam. We are sitting here today in East London because of, you know, the sacrifices that they gave, and those were his friends. Those were, you know, his companions. So the advice that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us with regards to friendship is that, firstly, he compared a good friend to someone who sells musk, that you will either buy it from him or you will at least have that fragrance coming from you. So if our brother Shahid here is wearing nice musk, you know, eventually I might take some from him, or I might start smelling like him as well. And that's a good friend. You know, they will have some traits. You'll see that they, you know, maybe they avoid backbiting. If someone brings up backbiting in a gathering, they'll be like, no, let's not talk about it, let's talk about something else. You know, and then eventually you're going to start picking up those characteristics as well. And then on the other side, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam compared a bad friend to a blacksmith. You know, someone who's always hammering away and is, you know, is always smelling. So if you're with a blacksmith, eventually over time you're going to start smelling like him. You're going to start, you know, giving off this bad odor, this bad smell. And similarly, if you're in gatherings where people are constantly backbiting about others, people are constantly, you know, lying, constantly doing bad things, you're going to pick up on those characteristics eventually, and slowly, without you realizing, you know, they're going to become a part of your nature and a part of who you are. So I feel that someone who is, you know, someone who wants to memorize the Quran is at the beginning of the journey, or is in the middle, or even towards the end, or already has memorized the Quran, one of the best things you can do is find someone who is on the same journey, on the same path as you, and someone who is motivated not only with the Quran, not only with the dunya, but also with not only with the akhirah, but also with the dunya. Someone who, you know, is motivated in school, someone who is motivated in college, someone who wants to, you know, push themselves and push you forward as well. And alhamdulillah, that's one thing I feel that has helped me a lot in terms of, you know, keeping up with both aspects of, you know, the dunya and the akhirah, you know, keeping with the Quran. And subhanallah, I have seen in the past as well that, like for example from my secondary school, they were, obviously I'm not one to judge anyone, but there were huffaz who would, from my year, there were huffaz who would chill with the wrong people, as you say, you know, they will be in the wrong crowd, and eventually you'd see them that they would start smoking, you'd see them with girls. I mean, we're not people to judge, we judge by what is apparent, and that's what we would see. And on the other hand, you would see that a couple of years later, the people that they used to chill, you know, hang around with, now I see them in this masjid, they come and pray, you know, very regularly, and the huffaz, I don't know where they've gone. And, you know, it's shocking how much of an effect your friend has on you. And obviously as humans, we are social creatures, you know, we want to be with people, you know, we want to socialize, we want to interact with people, and it's inevitable that you will be influenced. You will either be influenced or you will influence people. And, you know, you want to make sure that if you are one who is easily influenced, you are around good influences. And, you know, if you can't find good influences, then be that good influence yourself. Influence other people, you know, motivate other people towards the akhirah. And as the ayah mentions that, you know, al-akhillau yawma'idhin ba'dhum li ba'dhin adu, that, you know, all friendships that are not for the sake of Allah, that are not for the sake of the deen, on that day they will not matter. You know, on that, in Surah Furqan, Allah mentions that وَيَوْمَ يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا يَا وَيْلَتَى لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أَتَّخِذْ فُلَانًا خَلِيلًا. Woe to me that, you know, I wish I had not taken this person as a friend, because لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ, he made me, you know, he misguided me. عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي, after the remembrance had came to me. The remembrance is here. After the remembrance has come, your friend has misguided you. So, you know, on that day, you know, may Allah not make us from those who bite our hands and are regretful that because of the people that we were hanging around with, you know, they took us away from the straight path and destroyed our akhirah and our dunya. And may Allah protect us from that.
Any questions? Anyone want to add anything?
What age did you become?
I finished at the age of 12. Yeah.
What inspired you to do it?
You got big boots to film, mate.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, my father is also, he completed the hifz, and he pushed this onto us that, whatever you do in the dunya, you can do what you want, but, make sure you never leave the Quran, because this is something that will make your dunya and your akhirah. And alhamdulillah, he was a big role model for me in terms of complete math.
Do you find that doing hifz has made you excel in your academic?
I think definitely, I think 100%. Like, we often think that, if I take some time out to do some Islamic studies, or whether it be hifz or, any sort of Arabic or anything, that it's not, it's gonna be a barrier for me in terms of my, academia. And subhanallah, nothing could be further from the truth. Because when you are engaged, if, like, for example, we used to come in the morning, a lot of the Hufaz, they go in the morning, they read in the mornings after Fajr, whenever, and then they go to school and they come back and they read Quran again. You're constantly reading Quran, and you find that it expands your chest, and everything becomes easy for you, all your tasks become easy for you. And generally, like, if you have a set routine, like, you're saying, I'm going to read this portion at this time, 7 to 8 after Maghrib, whenever, I'm going to read this after Isha, I'm going to read this before Isha. Then you're like, okay, and after this I'm going to do my schoolwork. As opposed to if you have the whole day free, when you come back from school, you have the whole day free, then it's like, okay, you get lazy, you start procrastinating. So even in terms of having a routine, doing something extra on the side, this is not extra, this is the main thing. But doing this isn't a barrier, it's something that could, help you in terms of planning your day and excelling in both fields. So it definitely wasn't a barrier, alhamdulillah.
How are you managing your revision at the moment that you're at university?
To be honest with you, because I moved out, it's quite difficult. It's in the beginning it was quite difficult. Now, alhamdulillah, I'm trying. So in the mornings I read before I leave for university. I try to wake up after Fajr, read after Fajr. And whenever you get time, so when I'm on the bus, it's about 45 minutes on the bus, so I read wherever I can over there, and then when I come home after Isha. And alhamdulillah, like, in terms of friendship, I might as well add this now that you asked about university. Before I went to university, I was quite, I was quite anxious that, I'm not going to know anyone there. It's a lot of, unfamiliar people, unfamiliar environment. And one of the brothers from this masjid, he said to me that, wherever you go in life, as long as there are people who will recite the Quran and who are attached to the Quran, and if you befriend them, you will find that they are like family to you. And subhanAllah, that is so true. There's so many brothers, wherever you go, whoever is attached to the Quran, they are your family, and they are, they're constantly motivating you, and, constantly, making you a better person, making themselves better. And yeah, I think that's really key, finding people that are, firm.
I had a question. How do you go about learning, say, a page of the Quran? So what kind of techniques do you use? And
with hifz, I think there's no secret, no secret way of doing it. It's mainly just repetition. So you can structure your repetition. So you can say, I'm gonna read this ayah once, and I'm gonna read it, once with the meaning, for example. Let the words stick in my head, and I'm going to repeat it 3-4 times. Then I'm going to look out, see how much I know, or maybe learn the first 3 words and then learn the next 3 words, join them together. But there is no way around it. It's only repetition. You need to constantly revisit and revise and constantly read it. But in terms of, like, for example, if you learn Arabic, even if it's very, very basic, like my level of Arabic is very basic, and even that I find helps me quite a lot. In terms of, say, just knowing what's coming next, how the ayahs are related and whatnot.
Any more questions?
What's the best age for starting hifz? What age do you think kids should start?
Because I don't want to discourage anyone, and hifz is, you can do it at any age, but obviously the younger the better. I remember last year at Tarawih Masjid Ibrahim, and the person who was allocated to listen to us, I think he started memorizing at the age of 50 or something, and he was a hafid. He comes to this masjid. So 50. Yeah. So yeah, if you're motivated, there's really no age. But the younger, the better.
I've got another 10 years.